the one, the only, Ben Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun to Lean On. Today we did Simon Iyun Reish Beis Erev or Rav Reish Ayin Beis. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm on a diet, right? I'm hungry. The Gemara says people are makbid on these things. It has some sort of effect on them. If you're not makbid, it has no effect on you. So the halacha daled says mekadosh al yain lavo, and the main opinion is that you can use white wine for kiddush on Friday night. The Ramban posted the kiddush I feel with the other. The Ramban said use white wine, you're not yosef mitzvah kiddush. Uminag Olam, the Shulchan Aruch concludes kisvar rishona, we paskin that you could use white wine, but I think the Mishnah Berurah says it's better to be choshish for the Ramban and not to use white wine, at least for the Friday night, which is del raisa. Now, in my opinion, as a sommelier, I completely disagree with this because, as we learned in Sif Yud, right, basically the wine that you use for Kiddush exempts all wine during the meal, right? Because presumably you're going to drink other wine during the meal, or if you want to, there's a chance that you drink other wine during the meal. The main course during Shabbos, what do most people eat for their main course? They eat chicken. Now, chicken is white, right? That's the color of chicken. You have dark chicken and white chicken; they're both kind of white. So, as a sommelier, I know this very well, that you always want to match the color of your wine to the color of your food. It's just the way it is, right? You're having salmon, you have rosé wine. You're having cheese, white wine. Chicken, white wine. If you're having beef, steak, red wine, right? Dark. You have to match the colors. Now, depends on the sweetness of the food, how sweet you want your wine also. That it has to align perfectly, and that's the first tip that I would give to any sommelier. Any person mixing, pairing wine and food, it has to match. The more it matches, the better it's going to fit in terms of color and sweetness. So, really, the wine that you're making kiddush on, you're probably going to drink during the meal. You should be making kiddush on white wine if that's what you're serving. Now, I don't eat chicken. I hate chicken, roast chicken. A lot of times I'll buy spare ribs. My wife will make spare ribs for me. So for me, it's true the Ramban says you should make kiddush on red wine, a dry red wine. Merlot, I recommend Merlot wine for your spare ribs or steak, whatever you're eating. If you're eating dark meat, that's the wine you should use. But most people eat chicken. If they're eating chicken, they should be making kiddush on white wine. And it's exactly the opposite when it comes to chasanas, right? You go to a chasana. What wine do they use for the Sheva Brachos? Both at the chuppah and during, I think during the meal they use a red wine, but at the chuppah, what wine are they using? They're using a white wine. The reason they use a white wine is because it spells on the college dress. Right, it's going to ruin her dress. If it's red wine, white wine doesn't ruin it. But technically, since most, at least decent weddings, the main course includes some sort of beef. It's not just chicken. Here in Israel, a lot of people just have chickens. Then white wine makes sense. But if you're having red meat, that's the main course, you should be having a red wine at the chasana. As a sommelier, it just makes sense. That's why it's important. I mean, derech eretz saying Torah. If you don't know about the world, there's no Torah, right? I can honestly say, can paskin a halacha over here. It's my opinion of halacha, and I'm not a rabbi. Don't listen to me. I mean, I'll listen to myself. But if you want to listen to me, consult your local Orthodox rabbi. Ask him if what I'm saying makes sense. He'll have no clue what I'm saying. He doesn't know what a sommelier is, probably. He doesn't know what pairings, mixing wine. He'll tell you, if he knows about it, he'll tell you it's just hevel havolim. We shouldn't involve ourselves in these things. The problem is, Torah says, min derech eretz and Torah. If you don't know about the world, it doesn't just mean earning a parnasa. Derech eretz could have said parnasa. It meant parnasa in Torah. It already says it's the main kemach in Torah. It says something else. I mean, derech eretz in Torah. Derech eretz is knowing the way of the world. You look at Rashi on the Torah. Rashi teaches a lot of things. Limda Torah derech eretz. Torah teaches you, right, that you should have bread in the morning to eat and you should have meat at night, right? Limda Torah derech eretz. It has nothing to do with the Torah. It's just the way of the world, right? You want to have your big meal during the day, at least for brunch, and right, the meat at night. So. No, 2 meals a day. Only have 2 meals a day, not 3 meals a day. Torah teaches you derech eretz. Torah teaches you how to. That's the greatness of the Torah. It teaches people how to lead their mundane daily lives better than modern culture does. The worldly culture it teaches you worldly culture. That's what it does. And derech eretz, knowing about derech eretz, kadma l'Torah, because that's what the Torah is based on. So if you don't have any knowledge of derech eretz, or you think derech eretz is shtusim v'avolim, it's a waste of your time, then you're obviously not going to know the halacha. You're not going to know how to paskin. That's what I have to say about this. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.